Hello, welcome to PCMag Live. I'm Dan Costa, he is Max Eddy, and we've got a great show for you today. We're going to break down the top tech news of the day, we're going to answer one of your reader questions, and then we're going to show you one very cool, very expensive thing from the lab, possibly the most expensive thing we have ever shown on this show.
I'll give you a teaser. It costs 3 times as much as the first car I ever bought.
Yeah, we'll get to that at the end of the show. That'll be one cool thing. Let's start with the big news of the day. There's 24 hours left to leave comments with the FCC on their proposed net neutrality rules. It's been a couple of months. They've had them open for a while. They have a set of guidelines which are pretty vague.
Pretty unpopular, I should add.
Unpopular on all fronts. All fronts. Everyone finds something to dislike here. Just to review what they're proposing, they are suggesting that they prevent ISPs from blocking content. Seems good. But they will allow ISPs to set up fast lines as long as they are commercially reasonable. And that obviously leaves a lot of room for comment. 650,000 people have left comments, and we don't know how these are actually going to shake down.
So of course the flip side of that is that people who are in support of more traditional roles of net neutrality are saying that the FCC should reclassify broadband internet as a common carrier utility, and under Title II of the Communications Act, and you can tell that I'm reading right now, it will be, they'll have much broader powers to regulate it. So what we saw initially was sort of the FCC just giving a slam dunk to industry, and what we're hopefully going to get is something a little more like how the internet has run for about the past 20-odd years. The big news today was that the Internet Association, comprised of Google, Netflix, and Amazon, the people that are, causing most of the internet traffic, are saying that they do not want these existing rules. They want net neutrality rules that apply to both wireless and wireline communication.
That's the other thing. The FCC is not touching wireless in any of their proposals. They won't go near it. And Facebook and a lot of the internet companies want them to sort of guarantee access to these services. But this is just going to govern, probably just going to govern broadband wireline connections.
And at the heart of this is video streaming. This is the big hot button issue that keeps coming up. It's not really what this is about, but you have industry complaining that Netflix and Amazon and Google, their streaming services are choking the internet, and those industries saying that this is completely untrue. Whoever you believe, it probably relates to how much you actually stream video.
Indeed. You can read more about this on PCMag.com. Also, if you want to send your comments in, you've got 24 hours to do so. This is just the first comment period. There will be more comment periods. But open internet at fcc.gov, that's where you send your information. Let's move on to a different government story. This time the Chinese government. The Chinese central government announced that 30% of all of its government-purchased cars are going to be hybrid electric by 2016.
It's a really big goal, and it's got a lot of interesting politics behind it. There's obviously the environmental issue. Smog is a huge problem in some of the larger cities in China, and there are some times where there are air advisories where people have to wear masks all the time. It's not a great situation, but according to Bloomberg, the Chinese government has identified electric cars specifically as an area where they're for great growth in their economy, where they could really move in against competing automakers. So by bolstering the production of these cars, they're hoping to be able to make a move into other markets.
Yeah, this is a story about China today, but they were going to want to sell those cars overseas eventually, and they want to have a leg up on the technology. This is what China has always done. They're using their government to subsidize their fast-growing industries in order to gain market share.
And of course, there's also the environmental politics of this. The US and other countries have been putting a lot of pressure on China and other countries with more recently developed industries, saying that they need to cut their carbon more. Those countries are turning around and saying, hey, US and Western Europe, you've been polluting the earth for 200 years. We deserve a chance to get our economies up and running too. So there's a lot tied up in this issue. We're not going to hear the end of it today.
On a much lighter note,
lighter or catastrophic.
It could be more. It could be catastrophic if you're a Doctor Who fan. Last week, 5 scripts were leaked out on the internet for 5 episodes of the new season of Doctor Who. Now, an entire first episode has been leaked online. It's in black and white. Not all the CGI, not all the graphics are in there.
It's very strange. So what happened was the leaked video and the leaked scripts all came from the BBC's Miami headquarters, where they were being translated for a simulcast on August 23rd for the first episode. This was supposed to be on a secured server, but the server was not secured and was in fact crawled by Google. So there wasn't any hacking involved. People just wrote really good Google search queries and were able to pull up this video and others. The Radio Today, I'm actually saying that wrong, Radio Times reported that there are 6 videos on that server, but only 1 of them has shown up so far. The server's been pulled down. You'll have to torrent them. The BBC is begging you not to do that.
Yeah, it really will ruin the experience for you because the scripts could change a little bit. It's in black and white. Not exactly an ideal viewing experience.
A lot of people are excited about this, though, or leery about it, because this is the first full episode debut of Peter Capaldi as the new Doctor, and it's really pushing a lot of geek query on the internet about whether or not this is a great move for the show. I don't know. I'm not going to watch it. I'm not going to watch it. Keep my hands off until it actually premieres. August 23rd.
Let's move on to a reader question now. We answer reader questions on Facebook, Twitter, via email, in the comments section on YouTube. This question comes in from Davin via email. He's thinking about paying for a streaming music service. He's on an iPhone. Is iTunes Radio the way to go, or one of the alternatives? He can only afford one subscription service. Which one should it be? We actually do not disagree. We disagree on this.
We do disagree. You want to make my pitch first?
You make your pitch. Go ahead.
All right. So I use iTunes Match. For $25, iTunes sucks all of the songs that I've got on my computer up into the cloud, and then I can get them on all of my devices, all my computers, all my smartphones, my tablets, whatever. iTunes Radio, which is sort of like a shuffle streaming program similar to Pandora, old Pandora, that's free. So for $25, I get the free radio, and I get the streaming of all my music. I think it works really great for me, and I'm in the iPhone ecosystem already.
Well, because you've got a lot of music that you already have, so the Match solves that problem. But then you have to deal with the ads. And I cannot deal with ads. On a radio station, I don't want to listen to ads.
I don't get any ads.
So I use Slacker radio. I cache on my iPhone. I listen to it all day at the office. I pay $10 a month. I do not listen to ads. And I can have access. I can play full albums. And I also get the radio station. So I get to hear new music that I didn't actually have on my computer. And that's what I'm really paying for, is the curation, the radio play, the sort of old school radio experience. I love it. I think it's a great deal.
I mean, Slacker is our editor's choice for streaming music because of those curated lists, which includes one of my favorites, Yacht Rock.
Indeed. All right, let's move on to one cool thing. We're very excited about this. We test thousands of products here in our lab in New York City. Every day we take one thing off the shelf and show it to you live. Today that thing is a cell phone. It's an Android cell phone. The thing that makes this cell phone a little bit different than most cell phones, $11,000. That's the starting price. It actually goes up from there.
What's it called?
It's called the VERTU Signature Touch. And VERTU's been around for a long time. Their handsets have always been a little bit behind the times in terms of technology. This one may change that. It's got a Snapdragon 801 chip, a 1080p screen, and it's running the latest version of Android 4.4. So it's a state-of-the-art phone. It's also got a sapphire screen, which we haven't seen a lot of, which is stronger than Gorilla Glass and really scratch resistant. But the thing that really makes this phone stand out is the concierge service. So you get the phone, but you also get a concierge service where you pick up the phone, you dial the number, and that concierge will do anything you ask that's legal. Making reservations, making flights, and really creating this sort of luxury experience that is really, there's nothing else like it on the market.
I think it's actually a push button thing. You just press this. This is a ruby cut button, by the way, if you're wondering where your $11,000 went, that will connect you directly to this service. It also comes with Silent Circle's security and encryption service. So, if you're really rich and have secrets to keep, this is definitely a service for you. And it also, can you explain what I'm looking at in the inside panel here?
Oh yeah, so, and this is the other thing, this is a hand-built handset. It's made in England, and it's actually signed by the creator. So you have a little toggle you can open up where your SIM card goes in, and Chip Davis made that phone, and he signed it when he was done.
Thanks, Chip. We really appreciate it.
It's a very cool phone. I don't know whether it's worth $11,000, but it really doesn't matter because I don't have $11,000. You can read Eugene Kim's full review on PCMag.com. That's been PCMag Live for today. Tune in tomorrow. We'll bring you a brand new show.